And to type a limit, the basic command in math mode is \lim. If I just end math mode here and compile, you can see all we get is lim, and even though we're in math mode, these letters are not in italics because the compiler understands that this is a special string of letters. Now we want to adjust this. We want to take the limit of something, and we want to take the limit, let's say we want to take the limit as x approaches a. I'm going to use another command, \limits. And that is going to be followed by, I'm trying to get as x approaches a. So underscore, and then in curly brackets, I want to type x, and then an arrow, and then a. So the symbol to get that right arrow is \2, T-O, a. And I'm going to close my curly brackets, and now we should see when we compile it the limit as x approaches a. If I did not use this limits, take that out and recompile, as x approaches a will not be underneath the lim, it will still be a subscript because we used that underline, but it's going to appear to the right, which you may want. I don't like it like that, so I'm going to go ahead and put the \limits command in front, and now the x approaches a will be underneath the word limit. If I want to take the limit, and we have to take the limit of something, so let's come back and add our function. In general, let's just call it f of x. So we want the limit as x approaches a of f of x. If I want to take the left-hand limit, the limit as x approaches a from the left, I just come back to my code, and after the a is the caret. You can type a plus if you want to approach from the right-hand side. If I want to approach from the left-hand side, I'll type a minus. Okay, let's do one more example with limits. We want the limit, so \lim, and to make the notation look a bit nicer, I'm going to use \limits underscore, and I want, again, just the limit as x approaches a. So in my curly brackets, x \2, T-O, the limit as x approaches a. Close my curly brackets, and this time I'm going to use the definition of derivative at a point. So the limit as x approaches a of, now I want the fraction f of x minus f of a over x minus a. So \frac in my numerator, that's the first set of curly braces, curly brackets. We're going to type f of x minus f of a. In the denominator, so this goes in the second pair of the curly brackets, x minus a. And that, let's come outside of the brackets there, is equal to f prime of a. So f, and I'm just hitting the apostrophe for that prime symbol, of a. Close my math mode. Let's compile this and see how it looks. Alright, I forgot to end my line with 2 backslashes. That'll give me a little bit more space in between there. Now this looks good, but the fraction is displaying rather small, and that's because it's trying to fit it nicely in with the line. But I want to make it look normal size. So I'm going to come back to my command and wrap the entire thing with display style. Backslash, display style, curly bracket, and then at the very end, before I exit math mode, put the closing curly bracket. And let's compile this again. Okay, so now the fraction looks much larger. Same size as the rest of the notation. And that line with 2 backslashes. And now let's look at how to typeset an integral. In math mode, we're going to start with \int for integral. Let's take the integral of sine of x. Now if I just type sin, when I compile that it's going to be italicized. I don't want that. So for sine, cosine, tangent, all the trig functions, we do backslash first. So backslash sin of x, and that should give me the integral of sine x. Now I also need my dx. I can type dx just like this, close math mode. Let's see what that looks like. Now notice that the x and the dx are kind of look like they're running together there. So what I like to do here is just force a space to be inserted between those, because remember, just because you type a space over here in the code doesn't mean it's going to appear as a space when you compile your document. But to force a space right there, I'm going to hit backslash comma. So let's compile that and see if it makes a difference. Okay, good. So now there is a space between my x and my dx. Now if you don't want the d italicized, we saw, as we did when we were typing domain and range, how we can wrap that lowercase d with the backslash math rm tag, and it wouldn't be italicized. But the italics don't bother me with the dx, so I'm going to leave it like that. Well, let's go ahead and solve this integral. So the integral of sine x dx equals negative cosine x, so I'm going to do backslash cosine x. Now let's talk about spacing for a moment. Over here I left a space in between or in front of this slash sign. That's optional. I didn't over here, but I did leave a space between the s and the x here. Otherwise the compiler might get confused and think your command is backslash cos x all as one thing. So we want to separate that with a space. And let's not forget r plus c, very important. And we'll compile that. And there we go. If I want my integral sign to be longer, so when you see it in a textbook, you see it online, usually it doesn't look that short. And it's shrunk here to kind of make it fit in that line neatly. But we can expand that simply by using display style. So backslash display style, curly bracket, and then just before we end math mode, put the closing curly bracket. And that elongated that integral symbol.